Hello everyone, it's me Tiffany. Welcome back to my channel where I share all things pregnancy, postpartum, and motherhood related. I'm a certified birth and postpartum doula, so that means I support women and their families on their journey from conception to postpartum. If you have not had a chance yet, check out my new website. So I made the decision to rebrand my site, my website, my business, everything has been going fairly well for me, but I just felt like it was time to kind of shift gears a little bit and change some things around. So it is now sacredarrival.com instead of Nurture by Tiff, which all my clients, will get the same treatment, the same care, that same love for me that they've always gotten. But I just felt the need to, rebrand things. Also, coming up in 2025, I will be adding bereavement services to what I already do. I feel like there really is a huge need for it, and I am going to incorporate some things into what I already do to help those parents and mothers and families who have had to deal with loss, whether it's miscarriage, stillbirth, things like that. So I'll be adding those services, so be on the lookout for that. I just want to get on here today to kind of touch on the maternal mortality rate and how it's really high for the United States to be a country that it is, quote unquote, supposed to be a developed country. The maternal mortality rate, especially when it comes to women of color, is extremely high. For those of you who don't know, women of color, Black women, are 3 to 4 times more likely to die during and after childbirth, up to the first year of, after birth. And it's found that those deaths are preventable, that's the crazy thing. Like, it's something that can be prevented. It comes down to several factors. There are like implicit biases that, some healthcare facilities have. There are pre-existing conditions like a lot of hypertension, a lot of, obesity, diabetes, things like that, that are uncontrolled, that, can lead to, maternal mortality. There are a lot of deserts, like healthcare, like deserts. There are a lot of places who are not offering like OBGYN care or prenatal care for, clients and people like that, or patients, I should say. And, some women aren't able to get to their doctor's appointments to get that prenatal care that they need. And so that's a huge thing as well. And things like hemorrhages, that's a huge thing. Different things like postpartum depression. There is an increase in the uptick in, unfortunately, women taking their lives due to postpartum depression because they're not able to get the mental health resources that they need, the medications that they may need, just to help overall. It's like after you have your baby, I think your first follow-up, if you have not had a C-section, is like 6 weeks after you give birth. And that's insane to me. A lot of women don't have the resources. They don't know who to reach out to, for help. A lot of family members don't have the resources either. So I just want to get on here. I actually have a list of the top 5. I'm going to do the top 5 states with the highest maternal mortality rate. Okay. So Louisiana comes in at number 1. There are 58 deaths per 100,000 births, and they have the highest maternal mortality rate in the United States, and it's even higher for Black women. And again, I think I touched on like those implicit biases. Like, you have some people who think that Black women have a higher threshold when it comes to pain. There are things that you can go in for and you're not being listened to, you're not being heard, or you're not being believed. And those type of things lead to women losing their lives, because it's like, why would I lie? Why would I come in and tell you I'm in pain and you don't believe me? And I find it crazy that in medical school that students are taught that Black women we have a higher tolerance for pain than women of other colors do. That's insane to me. Maybe it may seem that way because we're not listened to when we go in, so it may come off as oh well, they're not in pain because we don't speak up, because we know that sometimes when we speak up we're not being heard. But let me let you know, as someone who has given birth twice with the use of an epidural and twice naturally, we feel pain. Let me tell you, we feel it. Okay. Again, there's some instances where we are forced to deal with the pain because we're not being heard, but we do hurt. Okay. Georgia has the second highest rate in the United States with 48.4 deaths per 100,000 births. Okay. And a lot of their thing that they mentioned were cardiovascular issues that they had to deal with. So some women may have pre-existing conditions like with high blood pressure and things like that before they even go, before they get pregnant. And that can lead, if it's uncontrolled, you're not able to control, your blood pressure, that can lead to other things, as far as like stroke and things like that. So those are things that we need to try to get a grip on. We need to take care of our health, our blood pressure, things like that. Make sure that you have a plan in place if you do have, high blood pressure, if you do have diabetes, if you have, obesity, things like that. Sit down, talk to your provider, and if you feel like your provider's not listening to you, find another one. See it for real. You can do that. You have that right, okay? Indiana, they have the third highest maternal mortality rate with 43.6%, or 43.6 deaths per 100,000 births. And I think Indiana's biggest thing is their access to care, like their facilities. It seems as though they don't really have the facilities that are equipped to deal with, labor and delivery in that aspect, or if they do, it's like far away from where people are able to get to it and get the care that they need. New Jersey is number 4 with 38.1 deaths per 100,000 births. And again, they have the highest rate when it's dealing with, the fourth highest rate, and it comes to dealing with, women of color, black women. They are stating that they're trying to, make changes and, bring awareness to, which is insane. Like, why do you need to bring awareness? Like, we're not human, or we don't deserve the same rights as everybody else. Like, that's crazy, but I'm not even gonna get into that right now. They're trying to bring awareness and education, and things surrounding making sure that you are listening to all women, no matter what color they are. Arkansas is number 5 with the 5th highest maternal mortality rate with 37.5 deaths per 100,000 births. And there are also things that they are dealing with like obesity, like pre-existing like type of things, obesity, diabetes, hypertension, things like that. So again, just make sure that you are doing what you need to do to take care of yourself and your health, and create a plan, with you, your OBGYN, if you have a doula, address those things. If you need your doula to go to your appointments with you to kind of, be a voice for you, then that's something that, we can do. A lot of the times, patients don't just really know the lingo or things to say when it comes to seeking care and getting the help that they need. And it's, doulas have been proven to be effective in helping with that. So on the flip side, I'm going to talk about the top 5 states with the lowest maternal mortality rate. California is number 1. They have the lowest. 4 deaths. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Per 100,000 births. All right? They have, seems like they have top notch, like maternal care. They have formed committees and things like that to help to prevent things like that, deaths and, things surrounding like preeclampsia, hemorrhaging and things like that. They have committees and, people who are in place to really hone in and make sure that, hey, we're trying to prevent these things from happening. Massachusetts is number 2 with 8.4 deaths per 100,000 births, which is awesome. Nevada is number 3. Connecticut is number 4, and Colorado is number 5 for the least maternal mortality deaths. Now with Colorado, their big thing that they are finding that they're having to deal with is women taking their lives after birth. So they're trying to work on making sure that women have the postpartum essentials and postpartum care that they do need, especially when it comes to that mental health piece, and dealing with, postpartum depression, postpartum psychosis, and postpartum rage, and things like that. So I know that it's unfortunate that we cannot save everyone, and I wish that we could. In a perfect world, we will be able to. But I'm hoping that the states with the highest mortality rates and, those that do follow are able to figure out what needs to be done to prevent the preventable deaths. I don't know if they need to, kind of model care after what the states that have the least mortality rates are doing. But there is a lot of light being shed. You know, there are a lot of, you know, people coming together and spreading awareness and, you know, trying to really take care of women in birth and after birth. Like, we need to be taken care of, you know. But I just want to get on here and kind of, you know, shed a little more light on it, bring it, you know, to the forefront, because this is what I do, you know. Y'all, I really am grateful to be in the space that I am in, to be, you know, with women and with their families, you know, during the most important thing, one of the most important things, one of the most important events. And if I'm able to figure out how to make it even more awesome, that's what I want to do. You know, I don't want to go into a space and have to come out of a room and talk to a family member and tell them, you know, hey, the mother's gone because XYZ happened and it could have been prevented. You know, I just But anywho, I appreciate you so much for watching, and as always, comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.